Okay, I want to talk about something I ran across recently on Facebook. To me, it perfectly illustrates the videos I made a few weeks ago where I talked about parents who do too much and give their kids too much power, too much control, and just too much leeway. Not no boundaries, nothing. Now, this may seem like an unusual circumstance, and it probably is, but let me just read you what the woman wrote. So she gives us a situation. She says this setup: your mom, the biological father, left you and your daughter and wanted nothing to do with her while she was young. You have since then gotten married, and your husband adopted the daughter. Now your daughter's getting married, and the biological absent father surfaces. Now she says right here, he has never met her. Okay, he's never laid eyes on this girl. He's never met her. Okay, she says that right here. But he wants to walk her down the aisle with the adopted father. Would you tell your daughter what he wants, or tell him no and never tell her? Okay. My thing was, he knew who to ask, right? He knew to come, because he knew he wasn't going to ask the stepfather. He wasn't going to ask the girl, because she'd be like, who the fuck is this? Click. And, or else she would have all kind of, emotional responses to it and be all messed up. So he went to the mama, the one that he had the relationship with, the one who's, was aware of what was happening and old enough to understand abandonment and all the stuff that happened in the relationship, the one he hurt deeply and everything else. So he went to her because he knows, like most women, they're going to have a soft spot for the man that they had a kid by, right? That's why niggas be trying to get y'all pregnant, because they know you like that. They know if they get you pregnant that you're going to always have some kind of, well, that's my child's father kind of attitude, that he can always worm his way back into your life. See, they know who to pick. Okay. So that's what I figure happened here, because otherwise, why would she even waste time writing in seeking advice from complete strangers on how she should handle this situation with her daughter, her husband, and her baby daddy sperm donor person? Okay, now the part that I want to talk about so much is the number of responses. Now, I made a little tally sheet. This is on the envelope of a gift card. Let's see, can you see? I'm trying to make it be seen here. There we go. There we go. This big column, the longest column here, this is the tally for Tell Her. A total of 37 responses. Under the hell no category was only 13. Two of those was mine. And one person said that they would tell the stepfather and let him decide. Now, let me start with the things that are the least, the stepfather. Why would you tell the stepfather that that's what this man wants? Why would you do that? Because you're a dummy. That's why. You would put that man's security of his family at risk over some trifling two-bit piece of shit runaway motherfucker trying to bring himself back into your life. Now, don't you think that that would be threatening to the stepfather? That he would be wondering, why were you even entertaining this? Why didn't you just cuss him out? Why didn't you just tell him no? Why are you bringing this to me? This is the kind of thing that you as a woman, you're supposed to handle that. The man, he should never ever even have heard about this thing until maybe after the wedding, when you say, yeah, by the way, so-and-so called thinking his black ass was going to be trying to walk down the aisle with you, and I told him where to go and what cliff to jump off of. So, honey, I'm glad everything went really well, and don't you worry about him. Okay, that's when you might tell him. You don't tell him before, where it's going to be a risk to his security and peace of mind. This man has been there, and as she said, he adopted the little girl. That's his daughter now. The man who gave up his parental rights, because, see, this is the thing I think a lot of people didn't understand, and I mentioned that in this thread. No one can adopt your child unless they give up their parental rights. That is the law of this country. Someone must be willing to assume that responsibility for your child. It could be the state, so it could be like, ward of the state kind of thing. It could be another relative. It could be like grandparents or somebody. It could be your new husband. But whatever it is, that daddy is going to have to sign away his rights to be ever responsible or involved with that child ever again. That's what abandonment of parental rights means. Okay, so for him to call and whatever years later, because you figure the girl has to be at least 18 or so. Let's just say she's 18. I mean, she might be older than that, but let's just say 18, and she's getting married now. And now he gonna surface and want some of the glory. He want to be like people coming up to him saying congratulations and patting him on the back and being at the big party and stuff that he had nothing to do with. No, motherfucker, you don't get to come. Not only do you not get to walk her down the aisle, you don't even get to come to the wedding. Now, see, this is my view. So let's go on. So, okay, we started with, the Dell and the stepfather. So I talked about that. So now we're going to go on to the people who said, let her decide. Why, let her decide. Tell her and let her decide. Why would you do that? Okay, this is the thing. Unless your daughter is paying for her wedding all by herself, her and her groom, then because they were like, well, she's grown, it's her wedding, it's her day, it's she should decide this and that. Fuck that. The bitch that's writing the checks is the one who decides. Your little ass is walking down the aisle, but you ain't paying for shit. So no, you don't get to make no decisions. You get to pick your colors and your little venue or whatever with some input from me, since I have to write the checks, because you might pick some extravagant bullshit ass place and some caterer that's outside of the budgetary range. You're gonna hear about it and I'm gonna tell you no. So dumb that down and then you're gonna get your wedding. But it's gonna have to be within reason of my pocketbook and reason within whatever. You can have it, but you're gonna have to do it within the parameters of which I establish. Unless you pay for it yourself, and then I'll just show up, no problem. So in a situation like this, the mother didn't say that. So that, most likely the traditional setup where the stepfather and the mother are paying. Okay. Now, why is it magically morphed into being this girl's decision? She ain't paying for shit. So it's not her decision. It's the people who's writing the checks decision. Totally their decision. And it's also, to even entertain the thought that she should be told this by a man who signed away his rights to be her father long ago, who has never even met her. Please, why are all these black women and men just bleeding hearts talking about what is her decision? The fuck it is she don't get to decide nothing, and neither does he. So, that was deeply disturbing to me, that they would think that this guy has that kind of power to just show up after all these years and interject himself into this family and cause all this drama because the mama is too stupid to hang up the phone once she heard his voice. It's like, what's going on with you? You know what I mean? Why are you going to let him come and bring this bullshit into your household and into the wedding? You got your family set up. You're supposed to be the gatekeeper to prevent them from having any kind of emotional distress, especially behind that nigga. Okay, that nigga didn't want to be there. That nigga didn't want shit to do with it. That nigga didn't want to pay enough money, but he want to show up on the day of a wedding? No, And matter of fact, I'm going to hire the Fruit of Islam for my security, and all the brothers with them bow ties. I'm going to show them a picture of your ass. And if you are anywhere even within a block radius of this wedding, I'm going to tell them to beat your ass. That would be me. And I wouldn't care if I had to borrow the money from the credit union to pay them. I'm going to do it because I just want to make sure you don't get no signs of no wedding glory at all. None. You might could watch a video on YouTube. That'd be about as close as you get to the wedding. So then, the other thing is like, well, okay, so what if the girl was stupid enough to say, okay, or the mama side was dumb enough and started lobbying the stepfather and say, well, he is her biological father. You know, I could just hear it in my mind because of the fact that she thought to write this letter. So see, she's on the fence. She's wavering. That's why she wrote the letter, because she wants people to tell her that the way that she's thinking is okay to think. That's what that is. Because otherwise she just would have said no and this letter would have never appeared. You understand where I'm going with this? So she's on the fence and she wants him to do it. That's why she's writing. She wants him to be there because so she can feel vindicated that her baby daddy, you know, actually came through. So she's got like some residual issues with the abandonment right after the birth of the baby that she's still wrestling with herself. So she needs to see a shrink for that shit, but she's not understanding her role, her psychological attachment to this man and how it's about to fuck up everything in her household because she didn't take her ass to a shrink and deal with her issues. So this dude, I mean, this woman, so just say she starts lobbying for, you know, the baby daddy person to come in to and walk with the stepfather who's, you know, really the daddy, down the aisle, walk the girl down the aisle. And I sat there and I thought, okay, if I was that stepfather, how would I feel? And I'm going to tell you what I would do. The second they told me that that was what the plan was and that's what they wanted to do, I would pull all my money out that bitch ass wedding, all of it. I would tell all my relatives, don't you dare come. And I would take my money and book myself a 2-week vacation, and I would go away somewhere by my damn self and tell all of them to kiss my ass. That's what Deb would do. Because you're not going to treat me like that. I'm not going to adopt, you know, pick up the problem that you left, that you turned your back on these people right here. I picked up the slack for your monkey ass, and then you dumb bitches going to sit up there and just let him waltz into the picture and steal a moment, the once in a lifetime moment that a father gets, which is to walk his daughter down the aisle. You know, you only get to do that one time. That's a once in a lifetime experience. That man has earned it. How dare you take that away from him, worrying about that trifling 2-bit piece of shit that walked away and turned his back on you years and years ago. See, this whole attitude that these people had, they was just so sucking up to this man and not worrying about the dude who was there. I don't fucking know what is wrong with these women. I mean, this is the kind of thing I'm constantly trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with so many black women when it comes to the niggas they fucked and had a baby by. Who gives a shit what he does? Who gives a shit what he wants? He saw his draws. I mean, he's done. It's a wrap. He has nothing else to do with that girl and has no involvement with her and none with you. All those lines should have been crossed. I mean, you know, what you call them? Cut off. He should be having no contact with you whatsoever. If he wants to hear about what goes on with the daughter, he can hear about from his mama or his other relatives. So I'm sure, you know, I mean, just because he gave up his parental rights, that doesn't mean that they gave up their relative rights. You know what I mean? Grandmothers especially there's all kind of legal finagling going on about grandparents trying to get their rights separate from their children in situations like this. And I'm in full agreement with that. So, you know, as I flipped through, I saw the things, you know, oh, they kept saying that's her decision, that's her decision, that's her decision. And then here's me. Who the fuck is paying for this shit? That's the only motherfucker doing any aisle walking, you know. And then all, you know, then more and more people, you know, just tell her and let her decide. No. No, 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 no. She don't get to decide nothing. You decided on who you was marrying. You decided on the dress. And you decided on your cake, and you decided on your food. Those are the extent of your decisions. When it comes to who is going to be doing this stuff here, it's going to be in the pictures that I'm paying for, and in the videos that I'm paying for, and eating up the food that I'm paying for, and showing his ass up in the church that I've rented out, and at the reception hall that I paid for, then this sounds like it's more, you know, it's more about me than it is you. And trust me, you can have a grand wedding and I'll be all there for it, smiling in every picture. But this motherfucker's not coming. And he ain't definitely walking nobody down no aisle. So, I mean, I just thought, all in all, this was like the utmost in disrespect to the stepfather. I'm not sure if she, since that's the end of it, that's the end of everything that I know about it. There's no way to know, the outcome, what she did finally decided to do. But I can say this, if she is stupid enough to take this mess to her daughter and to the stepfather, then whatever comes after that is that she that's just her ass because she just dumb. There's just certain things you don't let happen to your family. You're supposed to be the protector of them. And protecting them from nigga bullshit like this should be at the top of your priority list. This should never come to your daughter's ears. This man is not her father. He gave all that up. See, that's the part that the woman just, they couldn't like let that go. Well, that's her father. No, it's not. Don't you guys understand what adoption means? He's not her father. This wasn't no open adoption. The motherfucker has never even laid eyes on her. So, I mean, this like tie, this longing they have to, have their child with its father. It's just some sick, twisted, demented shit from their own childhood that they really need to get over. So this, I just thought this was a perfect example of what I was talking about in those videos about, this is just doing too damn much. Y'all need to stop this. You need to quit it. And if this something like this should ever come up in your household, and he decides he want to magically show up for the good time, for the fun, and get like all this rewards and kudos and recognition and pats on the back and all that stuff, shut that motherfucker down. Don't tell anybody about it. Nope, don't tell anybody. And really like change your number so he can't call you anymore. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com, closing out another great video. And my apologies for everyone about the Deborah. And we had a death in the family, and they had to move everything back a week because of some issues they had to deal with. But we should be back on track and everything rolling along just fine. And I'll see you next Thursday. Now that you've seen some of the grade A content that's offered on the Debsterism channel by advice columnist and author Deborah Cooper, please become a subscriber. Just click the subscribe button below, then click the little bell symbol that you'll see. By doing that, you'll be sent notifications directly to your cell phone right after new content is uploaded. So you can be one of the very first people to see the new videos and to comment on them. So please like, please subscribe, please comment, and please share a link and tell a friend. If you can do all those things, I'll love you.